Tonight on Joy News Prime, economist Ayitey calls for strict compliance with the Bank of Ghana's measures intended at preventing dollarization of the economy and ensuring relative stability of the cedi.
Should read this directive within the context of the fact that it is not just those engaging in price quotation that are liable for sanctions, but also those engaging in purchasing or patronizing these activities.
Also, meanwhile, real estate developers are asking for a workable plan to enable developers quote prices of some services in dollars to avoid losses.
We can also understand some of the tenets of some of the businesses that we run and be flexible and be willing to work with us to make it workable for all of us. But we are going to abide.
And the Agric Minister assures resilience of Planting for Food and Jobs program, saying it is premature to push panic button over the current state of affairs.
In spite of all what is happening to fertilizer shortages and rocketing fertilizer prices and fuel prices, which is affecting food prices, we are confident that the interest in Planting for Food and Jobs is still very, very high.
We have all these business stories and more coming up shortly, but we'll begin with commodities. Tonight, economist and currency analyst Ayitey is calling for strict compliance of the measures by the Bank of Ghana to have the intended purpose of preventing dollarization of the economy and ensuring relative stability of the cedi. The central bank today issued a warning of imprisonment and fines against persons and businesses flouting its directive on pricing and foreign currency in the country. Speaking on the marketplace, Mr. Ayitey called for strict compliance, which, of course, according to him, will help achieve this particular aim by the Bank of Ghana.
On the one hand, you can argue that because we dollarize our products, then there's too much demand for dollars. But at the same time, it appears it is a consequence of unstable exchange rates. And then people wanting to bypass the stocks would now have to dollarize. So there appears to be some bidirectional causality. Now, from what he said, it appears the ball has been thrown back in the court of the policymakers, where the alternative to dollarization is indexation. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where there's price volatility, exchange rate volatility, one of the ways around it is to index. It may be too little, too late as it appears, but it's better late than never, because it appears there's been failure or lax in enforcement of policies, directives, barring people from quoting and transacting in foreign currency. So because of that, it has created a state of free-for-all, and that is hurting the stability of the exchange rate to some extent. So it may appear quite late, but better late than never, because it is high time policymakers took a firm stance against some of these activities. And it is important to also stress that people should read this directive within the context of the fact that it is not just those engaging in price quotation that are liable for sanctions, but also those engaging in purchasing or patronizing these activities.
The Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, GREDA, has also urged the Bank of Ghana to engage the association to design a workable plan that will enable developers quote the prices of some services in dollars to avoid losses. Speaking to Joy Business, Executive Secretary of Greater Samoa Megayebo said even though real estate developers will abide by the directive, the unstable price regime in the country makes it difficult for members of the association to avoid losses.
I think under the circumstance, we are all interested in helping in stabilizing our currency and making the value of our currency grow. But so just as my brother just said, that the policymaker must also understand some of the tenets of some of the businesses that we run and be flexible and be willing to work with us to make it workable for all of us. But we are going to abide. I mean, we have no choice. We will abide by the law. But then we should also be willing to work in a framework where we will all understand the nature of our businesses and make certain exemptions and certain flexibility for all of us to work. So we will increase sensitization. We'll engage ourselves in workshops and train ourselves, get maybe some officials from Bank of Ghana to come and assist us. It's not like it's new. We've actually engaged them in the past. But the challenge has been the environment we find ourselves. And so we need to fix the economy itself. We need to work towards stabilizing the currency naturally so that all these things will not come in the first place. You see, that's the way I see it. Because it is difficult, really difficult, as I explained to you, when you are building a project and you start with the price and you finish at the price. It has brought so much confusion between clients. Some people who have signed on mortgages, for example, we are having a very big challenge. We're working with some of them, and projects that have been secured and has been fully awarded to people, and then you get shocked with all this high increment and high prices of materials. It throws the project out of gear, and it has got a lot of problems. In fact, as I speak to you now, there's a lot of renegotiations going on, and some projects have actually been put on complete hold because the volatility, the exchange rate situation, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's not working well. But Bank of Ghana, we cannot stop them. They should go and enforce their law. But I think they need to engage us more so that we can explain things to them, and where they think they can give us some leeway, we will use it and make it possible for businesses to survive. Great. I think at the end of the day, it is about survival of business. The government can also get access to tax. If we collapse, the government will not get access anyway.
Away from that, President of the Association of Ghana Industries has presented two policy proposals to government. The first proposal is a total ban on the export of raw materials, including cocoa, to enable industries take up the job of adding value to these materials. Well, the second proposal, according to Humphrey Enyimdaka, is for the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee to make public minutes of all MPCA sessions. He was speaking at the India-Ghana Business Summit, of which we have more in this report. It was an ambitious list of proposals by the Association of Ghana Industries to the government. Speaking at the India-Ghana Business Summit, President of the AGI, Dr. Humphrey Enyimdaka, made a case for a total ban on the export of raw materials, including cocoa, and for the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee to make public minutes of all MPC sessions.
I am of the opinion that to some extent, some agricultural products should be banned from export in their raw states. I say this, and I know it shall be a provocative statement. Why should it be the case that paddy rice should be exported in its raw states, whilst we have factories in Ghana that could add value and export it as a finished product? So we are proposing that such exportable products should be taxed. And I always refer to the monetary policy report because to me, it comes with its true position. However, I always charge the governor that in other jurisdictions, the minutes of the policy committee's report is published. However, in Ghana, that is not the case. They only give out the data and then the report. When you get a minute of the meeting, you will understand each member's concept and ideology to the economy. And in law, you will sometimes call it the dictum of the judges. You will see how the variances are in the decision in the minutes. It's our prayer that he either brings us to the table or submits the minutes to us to understand what goes into the data and the publication of the reports.
Also at the conference, Indian High Commissioner to Ghana, Sigand Rajaram, believes innovative business reforms by government are urgently needed to deepen bilateral ties between both countries.
With Industry 4.0, we'd like to see that we work together on skill development 4.0. This is very important because the new businesses demand new kind of labor. The traditional labor has no place to contribute towards the new industry.
In all of this, the Deputy Trade Minister, Michael Trebefi, assured Indian investors the government continues to ensure a business-friendly environment for businesses beyond the impact of the coronavirus pandemic.
Government recognizes the importance of an enabling business environment and its engagement with the private sector in attraction of both domestic and foreign direct investment. In view of this, we are embarking on a business regulatory reforms program as part of our industrial transformation agenda to address the bottlenecks impacting on business development, reducing the cost of doing business, and positioning Ghana as a preferred destination for foreign direct investments.
The India-Ghana Business Summit saw captains of industry renew commitments to bolster trade activity between both countries. It was themed Strengthening India-Ghana Business Relations Post-COVID. The Minister for Food and Agriculture, it is premature to push the panic button over the Plenty for Food and Jobs initiative. Though he admits that the agri sector is faced with many issues, he is, however, not worried about the situation. According to him, interest in the program is very high as farmers are keen on making it flourish regardless of the impediment. He was speaking at the handing over of the cash prize to the 2021 National Best Farmer.
The event saw the official handing over of the ultimate prize of 600,000 Ghana cedis to Alhaji Mohammed Mashood, the ultimate winner of the 2021 National Best Farmer Awards. According to the Food and Agriculture Minister, Dr. Owusu Efri-Akoto, the sector is resilient and has government remain committed in ensuring that the agriculture sector continues to play a critical role in the national economy. He, however, admitted that there are challenges that need to be addressed.
We are very confident, in spite of all what is happening to fertilizer shortages and rocketing fertilizer prices and fuel prices, which is affecting food prices. We are confident that the interest in planting for food and jobs is still very, very high. We have SAPIP in the north. This year they are clearing 7,000 hectares of land for commercial farmers, and farmers are queuing to be part of their program. In addition to that, we are getting a lot of inquiries for machinery. Farmers want to purchase tractors and other machinery. The interest is very high, so where we may lose a bit on yield and therefore production on the grains, we are going to make it up in terms of the acreages that new entrants into the planting for food and jobs are going to make. So there's no need for anybody to panic.
Managing Director of the Agricultural Development Bank, John Kofi Mensah, on plans to initiate an agribusiness entrepreneurship program targeted at supporting the growth of agribusiness.
In fact, the document is ready, and as I said, we are going to collaborate with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, and what we will do is through the outgrower and in-grower schemes. These are two different things. In-grower schemes, which means that the land will belong to the entrepreneur, and then we will put some students coming out of school around them. We will train them in the whole value chain process, and as we train them, we also use through our corporate social responsibility budget, we will give them some funding as stipends for their livelihood. We will give them land, they will cultivate. We also mean to provide affordable accommodation.
National Best Farmer for 2021, Alhaji Mohammed Mashood commended the government for subsidizing farm equipment.
Yeah, with farm equipment, You know, the government is doing very well. For instance, last 2018-2019, we were able, as a group, procure about 14 tractors from the Ministry of Agric under subsidy. Something we should have bought around 200,000 Ghana cedis. At the ministry, we had it less than 140,000.
ADB has been supporting the National Best Farmers Award since its...
Now, speaking of ADB, the bank says it will partner various private sector players in the sector to provide more storage facilities for the National Buffer Stock Company. According to its Managing Director, John Kofi Mensah, the bank will provide funding to enable the company construct facilities to aid the vision of the company.
Buffer Stock has a lot of stock facilities. These are not fully utilized. So by providing funding, the first is to try to utilize the capacity of what is existing. If it comes that there is a shortage of storage facilities, ADB would want to support the private sector. ADB as a bank will not put up storage facilities, but it will support the private sector to put storage facilities to complement what Buffer Stock. We are expecting, I said that the enabling environment has been created. So we are expecting that the National Development Bank or the Development Bank of Ghana would advance concessional funding to ADB towards agriculture, because there are two main areas of focus: is agribusiness and manufacturing. So we are expecting it, and when that comes through, we are sure it is coming through, you will see a whole lot of difference.
MasterCard Foundation and IDH, the Sustainable Trade Initiative, have announced the launch of an innovative partnership dubbed Grains for Growth to transform Ghana's grains market. Now, this program will partner a dozen small and medium-sized enterprises in northern Ghana, high-profile off-takers and other supply chain actors to create 103,000 work opportunities across the maize, rice, millet and sorghum supply chain, with majority of these targeting young Ghanaian women and men. We have more in this report. Grains for Growth project is expected to support selected farmers with resources in order to strengthen the country's grain value chain as well as create jobs for the youth. According to the Deputy Minister for Agriculture, Yao Frimpong Ado, fertilizer will play a key role in this project, hence the need to have regular supply in order to sustain growth. He is confident that the move by government to source locally and through Dangote will help.
We just launched this Dangote fertilizer in Nigeria. It's a huge edifice that we've had in a sub-region. You see, Ghana wanted to do it, but because of financial constraints, we've not been able to start. Because the natural gas that we used to produce, a few countries have it. Ghana, fortunately, we have it. So we are now putting things, some mechanisms in place to mobilize private capital to do that business. So we will rely on this I'm talking about. And then locally, some companies are producing organic fertilizer. Zoom Lion like this is having about 16 plants in the 16 regions that are going to convert human waste into fertilizer, you see. That is what we are going to rely on, because when that one is complete, a couple of them are complete now, but we need all of them to come on board so we can be sure that the farmers will have enough fertilizers locally.
Country Program Manager for Growth Sustainable Africa, Robert Asugri, has been explaining to Joy Business the importance of the Grains for Growth initiative.
To develop inclusive supply chain of grains that will empower small, medium enterprises and smallholder farmers to be able to produce enough quality grains for food security and also to supply raw material to industry. The aim is to be able to develop a very vibrant grain subsector in agriculture space, to be able to create more jobs, especially for women and youth in the space. And we are looking at a whole number of areas. We are looking at how to develop business capacity support for these SMEs, also support them with production and mechanization.
The program is expected to last for more than 3 years. We'll still stay with matters regarding agriculture because scientists and researchers are being encouraged to find reason in continuous collaboration in a bid to fashion out ways to address perennial farming challenges like pests, diseases and climate change impact. The ranking member for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Science, Technology and Innovation, Ebenezer Telabi, is optimistic that such a move will enhance the fortunes of the agri sector. Emma Davis reports from Abuja, Nigeria.
Day 2 of the study tour by the African researchers discussed crops like cowpea, maize and rice. The scientists were passionate about the use of technology to increase production of these crops to feed the growing population on the continent.
Cowpea has a lot of challenges in terms of its production. It has a potential of 2,000 kilograms per hectare. But most times what we are harvesting in the farmers' fields is between 140 to 400 kg per hectare, which is far less than the potential. For you to see any cowpea in the market that you can like and say, let me buy this, know that the farmer may have sprayed not less than 10 times.
Ranking member for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Science, Technology and Innovation, Ebenezer Telabi, is part of the Ghanaian delegation.
We need to really, do much more than we are doing. And I believe that our coming year, it's a learning process. We have been, giving the leads. We are charged to go back and make sure that these, products, it usually take us more than a month or two to get this thing approved. Because the environment is not being favorable. I mean, rainfall patterns are changing. We are having new diseases. What else can science do? Fertilize and solve the problems.
My name is Emma Davis, reporting for Joy Business from Abuja, Nigeria.
Now, funded Joy Business's new segment which seeks to equip startups with the right acumen to attract funding commenced today. Dr. Thelma Frimpong-Mensah, CEO of Desert Dew Consulting Services, has more on how to develop a business idea. Take a look.
Hello everyone, you are welcome to your 1-minute financial tips with me, Dr. Thelma Frimpong-Mensah of the Desert Dew Services and Consultancy. Today we are talking about your business idea. Always make sure that your business idea is a great one. Always remember that all the big businesses you see today started as an idea, and so make sure that your idea is one that is viable, it is worth investing in, and funders are willing to look at it. Always remember that no funder wants to fund an idea that is not original, and so make sure that your idea is as good as it says, explain into details what it is all about, and make sure that it attracts the eyes of the funders. Always remember that the big idea, no matter how big it is, should always start small and start from somewhere. But once you are convinced it is good, it is viable, it is meeting the needs of your target audience, then you are good to go. Thank you for your time, and thank you to Labadi Beach Hotel for hosting us.
And there you have it. Your idea would have to be unique, it had to be viable, and it must meet market demand. That's funded for this segment. We shall have more on Friday. But that's how we end Prime Business with me, Charles Ayitey. Coming up next is sports with Oreko Ampofo. By the meantime, I'll leave you with international business news. Stay with Joy News.